Hi, my name is Gonzalez. Today, I'm going to show you my whole plan of training in relation to judo, uh, which I've been working on among or along 6 months. Okay, so first of all, I am going to tell you about judo characterization, which basically is composed of the main capacities which are used uh, for the athlete in the combats, knowing that judo is a sport of combat where the main objective of this sport is to throw your opponent to achieve an ippon or to defeat your opponent in the combat to get an ippon. Okay, judo is a sport which is developing on a platform which is called tatami. The main physical capacities which are related to judo are the strength, velocity, endurance, and mobility. But we are going to check this out better when we talk about the directions of the training. Okay, so let's continue. Um, Now we are going to check quickly the technical tactic menu, which are composed by primary actions, elemental actions, and combinations. And these characteristics help the judoka to improve her performance in the competition. Okay, this is the base of her performance in each combat. Now we're going to give you quickly about the objective of the sport. As I told you before, the main objective is to throw your opponent or to defeat your opponent fighting on the ground or fighting in a standing position. Show different techniques. Okay. Now, something important is to know the predominant metabolic pathway. In this case, we use all the metabolic pathways. Okay, but it depends on how the fight is developing in the specific moment. Okay, we can also an oxidative pathway or a more aerobic pathway, but we have explosive moments in the combat that are going to making us use an glucolytic pathway. Okay, and now the direction of the training, as I told you, also resistance, strength, mobility, and velocity in that specific order. Okay. Now, something important that we work on in these 6 months in this signature is the Aerofit battery, which is a compendium of tests which we applied between among us in the class, and this kind of tests and the percentage or the punctuation that it gives to us allow us to know how big is the possibility of an athlete to turn into a athlete of high performance, okay, or athlete of high achievements. We have the results for each one of the tests. Then we realized the construction of the megacycle, which is the main part of the live sport of each athlete. Okay, we have different objectives for different components in each phase of the preparation in the whole life of each athlete. Okay, since they are kids, they have a lower age till they retire of the sport, and this gives its characteristics gives us an idea of how we can direction the training loads among the whole life of the athlete. Okay, so for example, we have here the objectives for different phases. We have objectives for the physical preparation, for example, in the general aspect of the contents of the physical preparation of the specific phase. We have the contents of the physical preparation, the psychological preparation, the integral preparation, and as I told you, the whole contents for each one of the components of preparation. Okay. Now we have something important, uh, some important part to the distribution of the loads and the development of our training plan, okay, which is the phases of the life sport, okay. This give us an idea of how to develop our plan according to the age of the athletes or the phase which our athletes are located, okay. So here in this part, I choose the preparation for maximum achievements, which is related to the age of 18 years and so on, okay, category, under 18, under 21 years, and senior or elite categories, okay. These are the main information of the plan that we are looking now. This is the objective of the plan, and the objective of the plan is to develop the physical capacities, technical and tactical capacities of the judoka through the training, looking for get a significant improvement in her performance in competition and in the training to achieve get the podium in a time of 9 months, okay. This is what we are looking for with this plan of training. In resume, we have a duration of, we have 21 minutes duration per session. We have 5 sessions per week. We have a total of 20 of 36 weeks. We have a total volume of the whole plan of 21,600 minutes, and we have a total of hours of training, absolutes of 360. Okay. Here below we have the percentage for each component in this phase of the preparation. Okay, or in this age of the athlete, which are the ones that I mentioned to you before. So we have the percentage and the equivalency for each component, and this gives us the minutes, the whole minutes, as we can see in this part, the minutes per component in the whole plan, okay? Now we can see here the graphics or the volume intensity and the information of the performance, which are composed by these two, volume and intensity. So we give for each week or microcycle of the preparation a specific percentage of intensity and volume, okay? But we are going to see this more specifically in the microcycle, okay? But before talking about the microcycle, we have to talk about this important topic, which are the directions of the training, okay? So first of all, we're going to focus on the determinants and conditionants or conditions of the preparation in judo, okay? Now, first of all, we are going to mention the judo determinants, okay? Which are endurance or explosive strength endurance and isometric strength endurance, reaction velocity or reaction speed, dynamic strength, explosive strength, and different methods of tactic for the combat, okay? And the conditionals, aerobic endurance, gestural velocity and movement velocity or speed, plyometric strength, maximum strength, hypertrophy, and also different techniques of combat, okay? Now we can see here the different types of microcycles and mesocycles that we are going to find in a few minutes in the plan, which are, for example, pre-competition, gradual microcycles, load microcycles or basic microcycles, high load microcycles or approximation microcycles. Okay, so this is the same for the kinds of mesocycles, where we can find recuperation mesocycles, we can find a competition mesocycles, we can find also upper competition mesocycles and a gradual mesocycles. Okay, but we are going to see this after. Okay, this is the one of the most important parts of the plan. This is the microcycle, when we have all the loads related to the distribution of each one of the phases of the training. We have as a guide in this plan the traditional method of training or planification of MacDF, where we give or divided the plan in three periods: acquisition, maintainment, and PTFD. We give for the first period the 50%, the maintainment we give the 40%, and we give a 10% or percentage for the PTFD. Okay, period. Now we divided the time of sessions for each microcycle, as we can see here. And this microcycle is totally systematized and timed. So that means if I change a value here, all the values or the information below is going to change. For example, if I change this 5 for and 6, all the values are going to change, as you can see. Okay, and if it's change it again, it's going to change completely again, as you can see. So this microcycle has a new integration on the plan, which is the value of minutes for each component in each one of the phases of the preparation. Different percentage of work or minutes for each one of the phases: acquisition, maintainment, and PTFD. Okay, so we have the value here for technical component, for the physical component, for tactical component, psychology, integral, and theory component. Okay, now we have here the most important part of the plan we are having. We are being working on these 6 months in this asignature, which is the mesocycle. The mesocycle basically have all the loads we are going to use in the plan, but is divided in each week and the loads for each week. So we have something important new here, which is the constant K. The constant K is going to help us to understand in the reality which are the volume and the intensity of the loads of the training that we are going to get or to find in our planification. Okay, because we are also give a volume in minutes, but this is no the most optimal for the planification, because it's not related with, so for the reality. Okay, so this K is going to allow us to distribute better the loads. Okay, I'm going to explain to you how to calculate the K, and I'm going to give you the example. For you to get the K, we are going to divide the total volume between the partial volumes. Okay, so this is equal to the K. For example, the K here for the whole mesocycle, as you can see, is an operation of which divide the whole time real between the summatory or the sum of each one of the partial volumes of each microcycle. Okay, this real time is defined directly from the microcycle, such as the planning time. as you can see, is directly pine for the microcycle, okay? And another example, the K for each component is calculated dividing the time in minutes for each component in each mesocycle and divided by the summatory of the sum of each one of the values of each microcycle, okay? Then we have to give a value, a specific volume in minutes for each component in each microcycle. So to do this, we just have to multiply the volume per week or per microcycle by the K, okay? Then we have 6 microcycles, where these 6 microcycles respond to the loads distribution we did in the mesocycle. This is important because we have different kinds of microcycles here, which respond to the different principles of the training, specifically the interconnection of the loads, which is going to relation all the loads of our plan, and is going to give you a specific and individual workout for the athletes of judo, in this case, in the phase of under 18, 21, and senior category, okay? So this is the loads of these microcycles are related to the value of the percentage we give in this phase, for this phase of the preparation, okay? So we have here, I'm going to put an example of this phase microcycle, which is a load microcycle, which is located in the acquisition phase and in the month of March and in the 10 week, okay? We have per microcycle a graphic which is going to relate how the intensity and the volume works, okay? Responding to the kind of microcycle we are working on. For example, here this is an load microcycle, and this is before the phase of maintenance, okay? This is located in the acquisition phase, and we know as the principle of interconnection tell us that here the volume, okay, here the volume is gonna be higher than the intensity, okay? And this is going to change depending on the microcycle we are working on, okay? So first of all, to find how minutes per component we have to work on for each day of each microcycle, we have to find the K. But first of all, we pin the value in minutes for the microcycle directly from the mesocycle, as you can see here. It's directly pinned. So to each decay, we just have to divide this pin value from the mesocycle in each one of the partial volumes of each day of this respective microcycle, okay? So you get the K, and to know how minutes per component by day you have to work on, you just have to multiply the value of in minutes for each day by the K, and this gives you the minutes per component you are going to get, okay? Now, talking about the sessions, we have 3 phases: initial, the main or the central part of the session, and we have the final part of the session. We also have the capacities we are working on, have the methods, as you can see here, which respond to the demands or to the system of the loads that are given for the kind of microcycle and mesocycle, okay? So we have a specific contents for each one of the capacities. We have the distribution and the quantification of each load. We have the session of warming up, the main session of physical preparation. We have the component technical, which is important in my plan. We have psychological an integral and theoretic component. And this is the same for each one of the sessions, okay? So we have here 5 sessions per microcycle. And talking about the rest of the microcycles, is important to mention that the whole plan, or for the exercise of this plan, I did 6 microcycles, 2 of load, 1 of pre-competence, 1 of competence, 1 of recovery, and 1 basic, okay, or most related to the gradual microcycle, okay. All this relation of the plan has as a base this graphic that you are seeing here in the mesocycle, which is a graphic that tells us, related to the loads, how is improving the performance of our athlete, okay? And this can give us a clear idea, or if we are working in the optimal way to make our athlete improve, okay? This has as a base the principles of the training, especially, as I told you, the interconnection of the loads and the specification, the specificity of the training. Here in this graphic, you can see in this color in orange, you can see how works the volume in the whole plan. You can see in blue how works the intensity, and also you can see how is the performance improving across the whole plan, okay? So I don't have nothing else to say. This was my whole plan. I hope you like it. I hope you could understand the plan. And this is all for today. And my name is Gonzalez, and I was glad to show you my plan. So see you in another time. Thank you.